This is Shannon from Skip to My Life, and on today's episode, I'll be taking you on a tour of my tiny backyard garden. Let's get going. If you love to live an upscale lifestyle on a downsized budget, I am here for you at Skip to My Life. We're going to dive right into the small space garden by giving you some ideas on how to fill in a window box. In our tiny backyard garden, we have 3 window boxes mounted on our fence. You'll see the plastic wrought iron detailing in the back. This was purchased from Dollar Tree several years ago. As you can see, my dog Franklin has had a good time with that, and we are going to need to camouflage the damage. If you're on a tight budget for gardening, these are going to be some great little tricks for you. Here's my favorite gardening friend, Franklin, and as you see in the box I've arranged, the only living plant is a sweet potato vine. The rest are all silks. I've also taken a broken kitchen plate and used it to prop up that sweet potato vine so that it's going to spill over the edge of that window box. Now, window boxes are usually viewed from a distance, so when you choose flowers, if you're going to use some silks to fill it in, you really want to go for uniformity in color. It's better to have many of the same color or maybe 2 colors than a variety of colors that really makes no impact or curb appeal. The silk, lilacs, and poppies were both purchased at Dollar Tree. Now for our second project, we're going to make a little fairy garden. As you can see, these are pieces for my fairy garden that I have collected over several years from Dollar Tree. I decided to group them by gluing them with E6000 on the tops of some of my clay saucers that I had just had stacked in my potting bench. If you're having fun watching this video, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. Let me know if you have a fairy garden in your backyard. I have been collecting these little pieces and just wasn't quite sure what to do with them. And I decided that it was going to make a really whimsical garden feature if I could group them so it told a story. Keep watching because I'm going to be giving you my thumbs up and thumbs down on all things Dollar Tree as it relates to gardening. I'm going to show you my vegetable and flower seeds and how they're doing so far this season. And I'm going to give you a walking tour of my tiny backyard garden. I decided to use E6000 glue on this project instead of hot glue because I do intend to use it outside, and hot glue just won't stand the weather. Now, one thing I wish I had done differently, you will see that I applied glue to the sticker base, and I really should have taken those stickers off. It's not going to adhere as well as it would if I had removed those, so make sure that you learn from my mistake. Of all the whimsical features Dollar Tree has carried, I love this little grandpa and grandson reading the book The Very Best. One of the best kept secrets about creating a really adorable fairy garden is making sure that it blends in with its surroundings. So I'm going to apply this moss that I purchased from Walmart. It was less than $5. It was a really good bargain, but it's more of a sheet moss and it's really easy to work with. It cuts easily with scissors. I did glue it with E6000, then followed up with glue gun glue because I was working on a vertical surface and it just worked better that way. For a finishing touch, I'll be gluing on these moss-covered foam rocks from Dollar Tree. One of the things I love best about having a small space garden is that you can really take the time to add these touches of whimsy because there's not so much upkeep. I ran out of my Walmart moss, so now I'm going to be using some floral moss that I purchased at Dollar Tree. And with this bag, I was able to cover all my remaining figures. My husband and I recently downsized from a 6-bedroom McMansion to a tiny 3-bedroom love cottage after our kids were grown and flown. So we went from a very large backyard that required a lot of upkeep to a small backyard, and I am including the playlist that tells the story of how we reclaimed this backyard. It was basically filled with junk, and our goal was to make it into a little peaceful retreat. If you're new to Skip to My Life, a big welcome. I'm so glad that you found us here. And if you're coming back, thank you for watching. I was just thinking to myself, I am so grateful that I have an excuse to create these fairy gardens for you, because let me tell you, it was such a stress relief. I just imagined myself living in this tiny little village, and it was so much fun. I'm adding a wooden stairway up to the doorway by cutting a stick into equal sections and gluing those in place. This is the first episode in a 2-part series of some upcycling I've done with my backyard. So this week we're talking more about a whole garden tour. Next week, I'm going to be showing you some thrifted items that I have turned into a French country garden. Don't forget to click the like, thumbs up button if you're enjoying this episode. And I'd love it if you would subscribe to Skip to My Life. We have so much fun here, and I wouldn't want you to miss a single thing. Once I completed those wooden steps, I decided to add a little weather vane to the side of this pine cone house. I'm going to be honest, this moss from Dollar Tree makes a complete mess. So as you can see, my glue gun is not the most pretty right now, but it's pretty much inevitable when you are working with this. I know I called this a weather vane, but I think it's more of a pinwheel. I am just gluing feathers in bright colors at the top of the stick. Next, we're going to make a pond underneath this bridge. So I started by taking my navy blue Sharpie and coloring all underneath that bridge. Next, to give more the effect of water, I took my glue gun and just went crazy gluing over that blue Sharpie. Now, it doesn't look great without the glue gun, but you probably could leave it like that if you wanted to. Honestly, I'm not sure how this glue gun material will stand up in the weather, but I am willing to experiment and get back with you on that. If you're duplicating this look, don't worry about how it appears at this point, because once you get all that moss glued around, the water is going to blend right in. Let me know which one of these whimsical features is your very favorite. I love these little hedgehogs, and I feel pretty sure that they live in the pine cone house. It's time to go back outside and the temperature's climbing, so I made myself a nice cup of filtered water with real lemon from Dollar Tree in my giant Dollar Tree cup. I promised you my thumbs up and thumbs down on my veggies and flowers, so we're going to start with these sweet peas that I planted for the first time this year. This is what they look like when they begin to grow, and as you can see today, I harvested a couple of those peas. Now, I'm going to tell you, these are the sweetest peas I have ever had. They pack a really flavorful punch, so I'm definitely going to be growing these again. The garden beans are sold in several different varieties, and I purchased the climbing variety. You see that I had the netting on this wire today to get rid of pests. I get some giant beans from these, but I'm going to tell you that they don't last very long into the season. If you come from a zone that gets really hot, They're not going to last you through the summer. Lastly, I'm growing some cucumbers this year. This is my first time trying this, and so far I haven't gotten any fruit, but I will keep you posted on that. If you watch my playlist, you'll recognize this wheelbarrow, which I rescued from the curb, took home, and painted. Now, I have planted some impatiens over the drain holes, but I have never had a lot of success getting anything to grow higher up in the wheelbarrow. So I decided to do a little hack and use some more of those Dollar Tree lilacs along with some Walmart greens to fill in that upper space. And oh my goodness, when I had my back turned, look what happened in this wheelbarrow. It is now full of magic. It looks like someone who lives in this little house put a ladder up the side of the wheelbarrow and built a tiny village inside. Next, we're going to talk about Dollar Tree flowers. Now, I'm going to be growing sunflowers this year, and as you can see, they've reached about half their height. Dollar Tree only sells one variety. I really wish that they would sell more choices. I have not had much luck with these in the past, but they look like they're doing better this year. And I'm also showing you Tiger Lily's Memorial Garden. We lost our collie this year, and her name was Tiger Lily. So in her memory, I purchased these bulbs from Walmart. And thirdly, I'm going to show you my morning glories, which are a proven winner from Dollar Tree every single year. These guys will climb up anything. And we extended our garden to a little shade garden, and the morning glory are just taking over. Now, I will tell you that these are late bloomers. They usually bloom to the mid or late of July. I purchased a solar fountain, which I simply rested in a Dollar Tree plastic bowl in my bird feeder. And this is attracting more birds. When the sun shines on this fountain, the birds just love to hear the sound of that water. I also wanted to let you know I have had mixed success with herbs from Dollar Tree. Comment below and let me know if you have had good success with herbs from their seeds. I am doing great with basil this year, but the chives and parsley just did not take off. So I would love to know your tips and tricks if you've had a great success with some of the Dollar Tree herb seed packets. You'll also notice the Dollar Tree yard sign bloom where you are planted. These are adorable signs, but they do fade in the sun. So now it's time to put it all together with our walking tour. My husband worked so hard today to get the yard looking spectacular. So my hat is off to him. He does such a great job making every one of my dreams come true in this backyard. And so I want to say a big thank you to him. Today is our 28th wedding anniversary, and we are more in love today than we were the day we were married. One of my favorite spots in our tiny backyard garden is this hidden space behind our giant cottonwood tree. It's a bit more shaded, and some days I'll come and set up a lawn chair back here and bring a book. And I just feel like I have my own hideaway among the wheelbarrow and all the tools of the trade. Thanks so much for coming along on today's adventure, and don't forget, comment below with your favorite ideas from today's video. Until next time, this is Shannon from Skip to My Life. Make it a great day.